I will try to explain how all of the capital cities in Africa were founded. By the end of this video, I promise you, you will know more about the most famous cities in Africa than 99% of the world. Starting with the origin of the names, how each city was founded, and how long they have been the country's capital. You will be surprised to discover which city holds the title of the oldest capital in Africa. We are starting with the southernmost point of Africa, traveling all the way up to the northernmost point of Africa, which is Tunisia. So, South Africa is the perfect country to start with. It is a fascinating country because it is the only country in the world with 3 capitals: Pretoria, Bloemfontein, and Cape Town. So we're going to start with the youngest, which is Pretoria. It is the 4th largest city in the country, and it was named after father and son, Andries and Martinus Pretorius. Andries was a famous leader of a group of Dutch settlers, and his son Martinus was the original founder of the city in 1855 and went on to become the first president of the region. Bloemfontein is the 9th largest city in South Africa, and this name is a translation in Dutch for the fountain of flowers. Despite the Dutch's influence, the city was founded by Britain in 1846. And the last capital, Cape Town, is the 2nd largest and oldest city in South Africa. It was named after the Cape of Good Hope. Cape Town was founded by the Dutch in 1652 as a supply station for ships heading to the East Indies, which is modern-day Indonesia and Southeast Asia. So, when did these 3 cities become capitals? It was in 1910 when a compromise was reached between the British and the Dutch leaders to establish 3 capitals. And our second country is Lesotho, the country that is landlocked inside South Africa. The capital and largest city is Maseru, which means place of redstone in the Sesotho language. In 1869, during the time when Lesotho was part of the British Protectorate, the city was founded as a British police camp. Eswatini has 2 capitals, Mbembeni and Lumbamba. Mbembeni is the largest city, serving as the executive capital. The city was named after a local chief, Mbembeni Koneni, who lived in the area when the British arrived. The British made Mbembeni as the capital in 1902. When the British arrived, life changed for the black Africans. They were not allowed to live inside the city. Only white people were allowed to live in the city at first, while Lumbamba, on the other hand, is a small settlement in Eswatini created by Sobose II. This is where the laws are made, and there's a strong connection to the Eswatini traditions. Namibia, the capital and the largest city, is Windhoek. The origin of the name is not quite clear, but the most believed theory is that it is a mixture of Afrikaner and Dutch, which turns out to mean windy corner. While Germany is the one that colonized Namibia and established it as an administration center in 1890, Botswana, the capital and largest city, is Gaborone, named after Chief Gaborone of the Batloquina tribe, whose small village, now called Tloquin, was across the river from the British government camp. Gaborone was developed as the new capital city after Botswana gained its independence in 1966. The reason Gaborone was chosen is because it was near water, a train line, and was in the middle of many tribes. And it also wasn't connected to one tribe, making it a fair place to have a capital. You will notice this trend as we go on. Maputo is the largest and capital city of Mozambique. It started as a small fishing village where the Tonga lived. The Portuguese arrived in 1781 and built a fort, naming it Lourenço Marques. This fort grew into a city, and in 1898 it became the capital city of Portuguese Mozambique. And after Mozambique gained independence in 1975, the capital city was renamed to Maputo. Harare is the capital and largest city of Zimbabwe. It was founded in 1890 by a small military South African company which named the region as Fort Salzburg. The country of Zimbabwe gained independence in 1980, and a new name for the city, Harare, was established in 1982. Now I'm about to tell you an interesting origin of the name. Harare is a phrase in Shona interpreting into he who does not sleep. This name came from a Shona chief whose name was New Harawe, and his nickname was he who does not sleep. Others say that he was given the name by a witch doctor, but it's not confirmed. Angola is next. The capital and largest city is Luanda. The Portuguese started the capital city of Luanda in 1575. That's very old, but not the oldest capital city in Africa. The city was a major center for the slave trade to Brazil, and back then it was known as Saint Paul de Luanda. The name Luanda comes from the title Ningola, which was used by the old kings before the Portuguese arrived. Luanda became the capital of Angola when they gained independence in 1975, because by then it was already the capital city and the administration center for the Portuguese. Zambia is next. The capital and largest city is Lusaka. The city was named after King Lusaka. It was founded in 1905 by the British when they built a railway line through the city. They chose this specific city as a place to stop for water. White Afrikaners then settled here and made it a trading center. And by 1935, the British chose this as the capital because of its location in the center of the country. Lilongwe is the capital and largest city of Malawi. The city of Lilongwe was founded as a small settlement by the local chief Ninjewe in the year 1902. Lilongwe was named after the Lilongwe River, which in turn was named after a Chewe chief. It became a British center and finally became the capital of Malawi in 1975 when they gained independence. And the next is Tanzania. Their capital city is not Dar es Salaam. Rather, it is the fourth largest city, which is Dodoma. Dodoma started as a small market village known as Idodomaya. In 1907, the Germans expanded it by building a railway line, and Tanzania moved the capital from the largest city, which was Dar es Salaam, to the fourth largest city in the country, Dodoma, in 1996. The reason was to create a more balanced country and place the capital in the center. The next is the Democratic Republic of Congo. The capital city, I'm sure everyone knows this, is Kinshasa, and it is not only the largest city in the country, but it is the largest capital city based on population in Africa. There are several historical theories about the origin of the name. Originally, the city was called Nishasa by the locals, and before that, it was known as Ngongobele in 1968. But in 1881, the Belgians built it as a trading post and renamed it to Leopoldville, after the brutal king Leopold II of Belgium. The name was changed to Kinshasa in 1966. And just opposite Kinshasa, across the Congo River, is the Republic of Congo, Brazzaville, the capital and largest city of the Republic of Congo. It was founded by the French in 1888 on land belonging to the Batuke people. It was named after the French explorer Pierre Savrengonian de Brazza. And in 1904, Brazzaville became the capital of the French Congo. Burundi's capital and fourth largest city is Kitenge. It is located on the Burundian Central Plateau. It was founded by the Germans in 1912. Kitenge became the capital of Burundi in 2019, moving from Bujumbura, making it the youngest capital in the African continent. Still don't know the oldest. But we'll move on to the neighbor, Kigali, Rwanda's capital and largest city. It is located in the center of the country amongst hills and valleys. Its name comes from a wide mountain in the area, and it was founded in 1907 by the Germans. As a colonial administration hub, Kigali became the capital of Rwanda after their independence in 1962. Why do I keep putting my hands in the back? Man, looking like a schoolboy. By the way, subscribe to get more African stories. Kampala is Uganda's capital and largest city. Kampala sits on a hill that was once the hunting ground of the king of Buganda. The mountain was full of impalas, which inspired the British to call it the Hill of Impalas. Over time, the city adopted the name Kampala. Kampala then became the capital city of Uganda in 1962 after independence. Our next city, Nairobi, is the capital and largest city of Kenya. Its name is derived from the Maasai language meaning cool water, a reference to the Nairobi River. The city first began as a railway camp in 1899, and then thanks to the good weather and the water supply, Nairobi grew to become Kenya's capital in 1907. The next is Libreville, the capital and largest city of Gabon. Originally, the land belonged to the Pongwe people until the French acquired it through treaties in 1839. The city became a settlement for freed slaves, earning it the name Libreville, meaning free town in French. From the year 1888 to the year 1960, Libreville transitioned from the administration capital of the French Congo-Gabon colony to become a thriving city. Equatorial Guinea's capital and largest city is Malabo. The island was discovered by the Portuguese in 1472, but the city itself was initially founded by the British and was first called Clarence Town. After independence, the city was renamed to Malabwe in honor of a native king. Yaoundé is Cameroon's largest and capital city. It is named after the Yaoundé people. It became a small trading post for ivory and rubber in 1887, and in 1895 the Germans built a military base, and after World War I the French took control, making Yaoundé the capital of the colony in 1922. The next city is Bangui. It is the capital and largest city in the Central African Republic. Bangui was started by the French in 1889. It was named after the Ubangi River and became an important central point for French colonial rule in 1906. Juba is the capital and largest city of South Sudan. It started as a small village in 1920. It was established by the Christian Missionary Society in a village called Bari, also known as Juba. It became the capital when Sudan got its independence in 2011. It's also debated on whether the capital should be changed. And then our next city is Addis Ababa, the capital and largest city in Ethiopia. The name means new flower in Amharic, and the city is usually referred to as the political capital of Africa. Addis Ababa was founded in 1886 by the Emperor Mimilik II. By then, many people, including nobles, workers, and foreigners, moved to the city. In 1889, Addis Ababa officially became the capital of Ethiopia. Mogadishu is the capital and largest city of Somali. There are many theories on the origin of this name. One of those theories suggests that the name means silent killer or blinder in Somali. There is new research that shows that ancient civilizations existed in Somalia before the Arabs or the Persians arrived. These Somali people were the true founders of the cities like Mogadishu's. The old stories crediting Arab and Persians as the founders came from the colonial era. The next is Djibouti. The capital and largest city is also named Djibouti. It's located on the Horn of Africa. The French started a colony in Djibouti in 1888. It was a small and uninhabited land at first, but the French built a railway connecting it to Ethiopia, and the city grew quickly as many nomads moved to Djibouti. By the time Djibouti gained its independence in 1977, the population was over 110,000. And now, probably my favorite story of them all comes in Asmara, the capital and largest city of Eritrea, located in the central region of the country. Its history is tied to a powerful tradition. According to the Eritrea Tigrinya oral history, 4 clans lived in this area but were often attacked by outsiders. The 4 women from these clans decided to unite in order to protect themselves. The men agreed, and the city was formed. Hence the name Esmaya, meaning the 4 made them unite. Abuja is the capital and the 4th largest city of Nigeria. Before becoming the capital, it was just a small town. The area was first home to tribes like the Gabe, the Gade, Dino, Egbora, Nepo, and Kora. Nigeria chose Abuja as the capital because it was neutral and fair to all ethnic groups, unlike Lagos, which had issues like pollution and overcrowding. The capital was officially moved from Lagos to Abuja in 1976. The next city is Porto Novo. It is the capital and largest city of Portugal. Just joking. Benin. The name means new port in Portuguese. Before the Portuguese arrived, the Yoruba people called the city Ajeshu. The area was under protection by the Yoruba Oyo Empire. And by the year 1730, the Portuguese renamed the city to Porto Novo because it resembled the city of Porto back in Portugal. So I guess we have our own little Portuguese land in Africa. The French then took control of the port in 1883, making it part of the colony Dahomey. Porto de Novo officially became the capital in 1900. Lomé is the capital and largest city in Togo. The name comes from the Ewe word alome, meaning in the aloe trees, referring to the trees that grew in the region. The Ewe founded the city and it expanded due to the British, French, and African traders. It then became the capital of Togoland in 1897. Accra is the capital and largest city of Ghana. The name comes from the Ga people who were called Nakren, meaning ants, by the original people who were living there. The Ga people then became the dominant group, and so the area was later known as Accra. The British took control of this area in 1874. They made Accra the capital of the Gold Coast in 1877. Yamoussoukro is the capital and the 6th largest city of Côte d'Ivoire. It was originally a small village called Nikokro. It was renamed after the Queen Yamaso, a local Baule leader. The last suffix kro means town in Baule. By the year 1950, it had only 500 people, and by the year 1983, the first president, Felix Hobweni, made it the capital of the country. And the reason is simple, because it was his birthplace. Monrovia is the capital of Liberia. It was founded by the free African American slaves. It was first called Christopolis, and by 1924, it was renamed Monrovia after the US President James Maury. Freetown is the capital and largest city of Sierra Leone. Before the Europeans arrived, the Temni and the local people lived there. In 1792, 1,192 freed slaves from America and the Caribbeans founded Freetown. From 1808 to 1874, Freetown served as the capital of the British West Africa. Conakry is the capital and largest city of Guinea. The name comes from the Sesu language. The British gave the island to the French in 1887, and the French made Conakry the capital of French Guinea in the year 1904. Bissau is the capital and largest city of Guinea-Bissau. The name comes from the Nisau or Bissau clan. When the Portuguese came to trade in the 1600s, the king of Bissau helped them. The city was originally founded as a Portuguese trade post in 1687. Banjul is the capital and largest city of Gambia. The name comes from the Mandinka language. In 1816, Tomani Banjul, the local king, gave the British the Banjul Island in exchange for an annual fee of 103 iron bars. The British built a trading post and military base on the island, naming it Bathurst. Bathurst officially became the capital of the Protectorate of Gambia in 1889. After independence, the city's name was changed to Banjul. Dakar is the capital and the largest city in Senegal. Lebo people lived in this area before the Portuguese arrived in the 1400s. The town of Ndakaru was established to provide water and food for European traders and sailors. The French later took control, renaming Ndakaru to Dakar. Bamako is the capital and largest city in Mali. It has a long history dating back to the Stone Ages. And around 1650, the Nyare family established a chieftain there. The city began to grow significantly when the French made it the capital of France Sudan. Ouagadougou is the capital and largest city of Burkina Faso. It was founded around the year 1050 from the people of the Ghana Empire, known as the Ouagadougou. The city's name, Ouagadougou, is a French spelling for Ouagadougou, which means home of the Wego. In 1896, French forces burned the city to the ground and later rebuilt it and made it the capital of Upper Volta, now called Burkina Faso, in 1919. Niamey is the capital and largest city of Niger. It began as a few small villages in the 1700s. It became significant when the French established it as the colonial center in the 1800s. In 1905, it was named as the capital of Niger, although the capital was moved to Senda in 1912 and then was returned to Niamey in 1926. The capital and largest city of Chad is N'Djamena. The city was originally called Fort Lemay. The French founded it in 1900 and later became the capital of the region. Later in 1973, the name was changed to N'Djamena, derived from a nearby village which was named Niamey, translating in Arabic as place of rest. Khartoum is the capital and largest city of Sudan, located where the White and the Blue Nile meet. Its name likely comes from the Dinka language, meaning the place where rivers meet. The Egyptian founded the city in 1821, and later the British took control in 1882 and retained Khartoum as the capital. Nouakchott is the capital and largest city of Mauritania. Originally, it was a small fishing town under the French control. It was then chosen by Mauritania's first president, Mokhtar Odada, after independence as the capital city. Okay, now we're gonna get into some of the oldest capitals in Africa, starting with Algiers, the capital and largest city of Algeria. Its origins dates back to 12,000 BC. It was originally a Cartesian port named Ikosin and later became a base for Barbary pirates. In 1834, France took control of Algeria and made Algiers as the capital. The next is Tripolis, the capital and largest city of Libya. Its name is derived from the Greek word Tripolis, which means three cities. These cities were Ue, Sabrata, and Leptis Magna. Although only Ue survived, the city was founded by Phoenicians in the 7th century. It was built on top of the older Berber settlement, and this is possibly the oldest established capital. Cairo. Cairo is Egypt's largest city and capital. It gets its name from the Arabic Al-Qaira, meaning the victorious. Cairo is often associated with ancient Egypt, and its roots starts when the Roman Empire built the fortress of Babylon in the 300 AD. The modern city began in 969 AD, when the Fatsumids established a new capital called Al-Famosuria, later called Cairo. Rabat is the capital of Morocco and the country's 7th largest city. Its name means fortified place in Arabic. It was founded in the year 1100. Is that how you say it? I'm tired. I don't know. It later became a pirate base. The French made Rabat the administration center in the early 1900s, and after the country gained independence, Rabat was declared the capital. Tunisia is the country on the northernmost point of the African continent, and their capital and largest city is Tunis. The name Tunis may have come from the Cartesian goddess Tenit, or the other possibility of the name is Tennis, which was a Berber village nearby. And the last theory is that the name could be a Berber word meaning to camp. Tunis gained prominence in 1159 under Almohads and eventually became the capital. Alright, now time for the last 5 African islands, and we're gonna start with Madagascar. Probably my favorite name. Antananarivo, the capital and largest city in Madagascar. Antananarivo was already a major city before the colonial era, initially called Elanamanga by the Vinzimba people, the island's first inhabitant. The city remained under their control until the 16th century. King Andrejenka then conquered the region and made it his capital. The city was later named Antananarivo, meaning City of 1,000, in honor of the 1,000 soldiers who helped in its conquest. Cosmos is the next island. The capital and largest city is Moroni. The name Moroni means at the river. Although the exact date of the island's finding is unknown, there is evidence showing that people lived on the island around the 7th and 10th century as part of the Swahili nation's development. Port Louis is the capital and largest city of Mauritius. It was named after King Louis XV of France. The French established it in 1736 as an important naval base. Over time, it became more important, even when the British took control of the port in 1810. Port Louis remained as the capital. Next is the island of Seychelles. The capital and largest city is Victoria, named after Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom. The French were the first to discover the island in 1778, and later it became a British colony. In 1903, Victoria was officially named the capital of Seychelles. The next island, the largest and capital city of São Tomé and Príncipe, is São Tomé. The name São Tomé translates to Saint Thomas in Portuguese. The island was founded by the Portuguese in 1493. São Tomé has remained the capital ever since it was established. And finally, our last island, Cape Verde. Praia is the capital and largest city in Cape Verde. It means beach in Portuguese. The Portuguese began settling on the area in the late 1400s. Praia grew into an important trading port for slaves, sugar, and rum. In 1770, it became the capital of Cape Verde.